Hey guys, it is me coming back at you. Let me just adjust this around a little bit. And I am going to be doing a sample submission for grading with tag. Not sponsored, but they did have a good deal on recently that I wanted to take advantage of. I think it was like $9 or $10 per grade. And I've got some cards that I've wanted to get slabbed for a while. I'm just going to go through those now. I managed to get enough submissions to where I am going to get free shipping. Coming back. The trainers from Pokemon Go, the Sword and Shield promos, I just think they're really clean looking cards. As far as trainers go, they are delightful. Got the Blanche here. I ordered a bunch of copies of these because they're cheap. They're like $1 and change. And picked a couple of the best ones to get slabbed. They should be 10s no matter what, but we will see in a future video, obviously, if that's correct. The Candela ones here are kind of really cool with the hollow pattern. See these kind of moons over on the side? The hollow pattern, or the way that they printed this, they didn't print the the fingerprint stratic lines across those orb/moon. Gives it a really cool appearance. Candela as a trainer, leader of the Fire faction, just cool. I really like the trainers that they have released as trainer supporters, and this one in particular, the art just speaks to me. I really like it. There is a rainbow version as well. This version I like better than the rainbow. The full art promo card, just really nice. I got 2 copies of this in a pretty much guaranteed 10 in my mind, as far as quality goes. Centering, great. No chipping, no off center, nothing that should stop me from getting a 10 in any of those. The next one, this is the Japanese version of the Tyranitar art rare. When I got these, they weren't that expensive. They've come up in price a little bit lately. The English version, really hard to get in a 10. I think it's from Paldea Evolved. I'm just going to submit a bunch of copies of this. They all look pretty good. I mean, Japanese quality, consistently high. And I'm going to submit a bunch of copies of this card here. This card just goes hard, like, just being honest. Will it fetch a huge amount in a 10? No. But is it something that I want at least 1 copy in a 10 for myself in a slab that I enjoy? Yes. So I'm going to make sure that I get one of those with a couple different submissions here. Another video that I'm going to be posting is a couple other Japanese cards coming up, but I've got a few alt arts as well that I'm going to be submitting. These Tyranitar copies, I looked over them before. They all look pretty good. I don't know if they'll all get 10s. I don't know how Tag's grading system works. It seems like it's kind of their pool of graded cards. Oops, I should get that centered. Their pool of graded cards for Pokemon isn't that big. It's like 50,000 at this point. It's not a lot as far as volume goes. So they're trying to get new customers. They're trying to expand into the Pokemon space. It seems like they've been in the sports card space for a little bit longer, and are realizing that the winds are shifting more in the direction of collectible trading card game, etc. So seeing them trying to push into the Pokemon market is not unexpected. Last one of this here is the last Tyranitar version I'm going to have going in. Again, this card, not super expensive, especially in Japanese, but in English, it's very hard to get a 10. So hopefully I get a couple 10s. Hopefully it is something where I can, at card shows, that when I then get some good copies out and sold, there'll be a cheap, inexpensive 10 for a kid or an adult who just like is starting to collect or is interested in having something that they appreciate in their collection. This one just kind of goes hard, especially, with the recent success of the Japanese Godzilla movie. It's just the right card at the right time, in my opinion. Let's get into some other Japanese cards I'm going to be submitting. Here is the Arcanine art rare. I believe that's from S10A, so that would be Dark Phantasma, I believe. It's either Dark Phantasma or Battle Region. And I don't have a copy of this in a 10. Arcanine isn't really my favorite, but this card is really, really cool as far as trainer galleries go. And I get batches of the art rare set from Battle Region as well as Dark Phantasma to try and get good gradable copies of the Pikachu trainer gallery, and it just doesn't happen, to be honest. There is no really, really good ones that aren't getting graded that they're sending out. So I'm having bad luck with that. Here is the Mew EX from the most recent high-class Japanese set, which is, why is the name escaping me? Oh, Paldean Fates, but in Japanese. Shiny Treasure EX. Clean copy of this card. I actually have this in SGC 10. Not an expensive card by any means, but if I can get it slabbed in a tag 10, then I can either send off the SGC 10 to a friend, a brother, use it as a trade, or sell it at a card show. So there's not anything stopping me from taking this and getting it in a 10 and using it. I unpacked that myself. It's in a different video, and it's one that I am just happy with. Here is just a Charizard EX, normal RR, 2 Rs from Shiny Treasure. It's not a super valuable card, but I like the way it looks. I like the way it kind of bursts out of the card. Just kind of cool with the terraforming. I know it's a highly playable card right now, but it's going to be one which people will also want a 10. This is just really, really clean copy. So if it gets a 10 or a 10 pristine, I would not be surprised. We'll see. But I think that it's going to be a 10 no matter what. So we'll see what happens with that one. Okay, another art rare, Snorlax. Just another clean copy of this. These trainer gallery cards, the art just goes hard. And I don't have a 10 in that. It's not going to be worth a lot. But this one out of, I think I got like, at this point, like 5 or 6 different copies of this card. This is the cleanest one. And it should, with, quotation marks, get a 10 if all goes well. Gengar here. I really, really like this card. This card, I've got a number of copies of this one in PSA 10 as well as I think SGC 10. It is just a gorgeous card. Let's just, I think out of the arts that Gengar had in Sword and Shield, it's one of my favorite, and it is, I like it better than the alt art. Why is it not focusing? The alt art, but my opinion doesn't really matter on that at the same time too. The alt art will always be more valuable than this by a long shot, but those who can't afford or don't want to try and afford a Sword and Shield Gengar alt art will look for alternatives, and this art is quite good and is a easy stand-in. Mew EX. Pulled this one from 151, and it is a pretty clean copy. The gold card of it, like I said, I already have the same art as the full art one like this, but Mew being my favorite Pokemon, I am going to go submit this one, see what we get back. I'm not sure how valuable the gold one is compared to the normal shiny one, but I like both of them. So let's see what this one comes back with. It looks like it should be a 10, but I'm always a little bit nervous when I say that with English cards, because there can always be like a corner that's just kind of messed up, or like a little divot along the edge that a grading system will catch. Who knows? But it's one where I'm going to be happy to get this back in whatever grade that it gets. So let's see what we get with that one. I like the clean lines around Mew on this one, the way that they kind of printed it. It's got that kind of shiny outline border highlighting to it. Very, very cool. Got a Radiant Charizard. Charizard's not my biggest, I'm not the biggest fan of, but this is a very, very clean copy of the Pokemon Go Charizard. Radiant Charizard, it is worth, a decent little bit if you get a 10. So I'll submit that, hopefully get a 10, and it'll be something that someone will like someday. And, Pokemon Go at this point, really nobody's opening it. So there's no really new cards coming to market that rapidly. So we'll see how that gets picked up or treated Here we have another copy of the Radiant Charizard. This one, I'll have to double check, but that one looks a little bit heavy on the left side as compared to the right side. Will it get a 10? Maybe. But it's, if we compare the two here, we'll see. But I think I'm submitting this one. I got to double check. I think I'm submitting a total of 26 cards. So I got to double check on that, if that's one I'm submitting or not, when I go and look at my order. Mew EX from the Premium Collection. I got a decent copy of it here. I'll take it out and show you. These were really beat up on the first printing of the 151 Mew PC. But I like I said, I like Mew, so I'm going to go submit this one. I don't think they grade the metal card, so I'm not going to go get this printed. Left to right looks good. Bottom to top looks good. Corners. Is that white spot on the card? No, it's on the sleeve. Corners look good, so it should get a 10. We'll see. Let's hope and pray that it does. The Mew card that I don't have right now is the secret rare, or the blue one, the kind of cartoonish blue one from the most recent Paldean Fates / Shiny Treasure EX. I'll pick that one up eventually. It looks like the 10s are coming down to about $100. Reasonable. So maybe I'll get one in the near future. A couple alt arts I'm going to submit. These were only like $5 each. I think I picked them up directly from Japan. They took forever to get here. So actually they're way more now than when I first bought them. I think they're up to like $10. But the Sneasler copies that I got are all very, very clean. And I probably could submit all 5 and get all 5 in 10, but I don't really need or want that many copies. I have other things I want to submit in here. But I'm going to submit these guys, see what they come back as. These copies all look very clean, Japanese quality, especially from this era. It was pretty pristine, so I don't expect any real difficulties on getting the 10s in this. The artwork in this one, super cute, super cool. Very much in line with the other alt art imaging that we see. The striatic lines on this one, very cool in terms of how the sunset is off to the right, but the sun is kind of glistening off in those radiant ways. One more Sneasler, and then we got some old cards to submit as well. I'll be showing those off here in a moment. Perfect top to bottom, left to right. Looks nice on the back. No chipping on the corners, despite it having traveled for a month through various mail hubs. We'll see what we get back on this one. I'm not familiar with Sneasler, but I don't have a ton of alt arts except for Mew, and I really would like some. So I'll keep a 10 or a 9.5 if I get it, and be able to turn the other 10s over. This Beedrill art, I gushed over this the other day when I was showing off the copies I got in. Unfortunately, 2 of the 5 Beedrills I purchased were gradable, in my opinion, for a potential 10. So we'll see what these come back as. These will look really, really clean and dope in a tag slab. The way that they print this one is also very cool. Very circular, very kind of focuses your attention. Just shines really well. I love it. The last of my Beedrills going out. This is another clean copy. I had 3 other copies. They weren't as clean, so it's just kind of, it is what it is, right? You got, these cards are probably getting pre-screened before they go out, especially if they're highly valuable and you're just kind of ordering off of eBay or whatever. This one, these were not valuable enough, in my opinion, to get pre-screened by whoever was sending them off. I don't think I'm going to get dinged for like the top looking kind of, I want to say it kind of looks choppy. It's just the way that it was cut wasn't maybe as clean as I'd want it to be. But I think it's still a 10, but based on my judgment. Again, not being a professional, I just think it looks like a 10. 9.5s, I mean, they aren't great, so hopefully I don't get hit with a bunch of 9.5s, but we'll see. Next one, some vintage stuff. I got a couple copies of cards that I've always wanted in as well. This Blastoise here doesn't have any like real dope swirls, the Stark Blastoise, but it is a Mitsuhiro Arido artwork, and it is one that I don't have a copy of in English or Japanese, so I'm happy to get this one slabbed. The edges look actually pretty good on the Blastoise. I've got a couple Lugias coming up after this. The edges look way worse on the Lugia, but the Lugia is more valuable at the same time, so you're not going to find a ton of just pristine, unutilized copies. It does kind of have like over that water can a little kind of a swirl. Just want it slabbed, want to be able to present it and show off in a way that I like in the future. And then I got 3 Lugia copies here I will go over as well. I'm never going to get a first edition English copy of this Lugia card, so I picked up a few of these and I'm going to get them slabbed. As far as how am I going to do this, I should take them out and evaluate them and then send them off in a card saver just so it's all consistent. Come on out, buddy. Here is the card. The sides and edges on the back don't look too bad on this one. Probably the best copy, I think. No huge nasty swirls on this guy, but it is a card that I've always admired. It's one that has, you know, that first kind of new legendary Lugia, and I've always wanted a copy. And again, much more reasonable than a first edition English, so I'm going to be happy with it if it comes back in an 8 or a 9. We'll see what we get. It's got the potential for it. No real big issues with it as far as I can tell. So we'll see what happens with it on the way back. This one is, I had 4 copies. One was just a little too off center, a little too beat up for me to really consider grading. But these guys, if you're looking for a Lugia to add to your collection, Japanese cards are fairly reasonable. Again, a nice kind of clean copy on these. These were well taken care of, whoever had it in their collection. Got it from a guy I know on Instagram who was just able to source these, and he sells through eBay, he sells through Instagram. Gave me a little bit of a deal because I picked up a number of copies, and this card is just very classic Pokemon. The art isn't overly complicated. The card is clean. It is classic. Again, these cards at this point, they are, how old was this? The year is not on these. Oh, it's on the back, 96. So at this point, almost 30 years old. It's just cool. It's such a neat hobby. It's got a bunch of, I think I talked about it in another video, but a bunch of cultural relevance, cultural resonance at this point. Absolutely a dope card. The lightning going through this one, I don't know if they did that with like any other card at that point, but it was just something that I really appreciated on the card. Final copy here. Again, the swirl ones have a premium, so I don't see that on this one. One thing I did not grade or decided against grading with tag is the my Charizard Blastoise Venusaur from the CD promo collection. I had a copy of that I showed off, and I don't think tag's going to add any value to those cards. I can either sell it raw or I can sell the whole CD collection as a kind of complete kit, and it is just such a cool artifact at this point. I'm not willing to slab half of them. I don't want to slab all of them, and I especially don't want to do it if it's not with PSA. So I'm kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place because I don't really like PSA, to be honest. That I think the slabs look kind of junky, but I also may in the future sell that because the price that I got it for and the value that it holds it's so different. Not really relevant to what I'm showing off now, but it's kind of a consideration, right? So when you're thinking of what am I going to do with these in the future? Are my kids going to want this? Maybe not. And if they do, I don't want to detract from their value too much for them, because that's the CD promo thing is probably the most valuable collectible piece that I own, other than a comic book signed by Stan Lee. So yeah, that's the submission. We'll see how tag goes. I will report back and open them here on video once I do get them back. Have a great day, and let me know what you guys think of tag. If anybody submitted for them, What'd you get back? What'd you like? What'd you not like? We'll see you in a couple weeks.